What's up, y'all? Welcome on into 10 at 3. It's 10 at 3 time in Tennessee. How are you? Hope you're well. Hope everything in your life is going well here on this Tuesday, December the 23rd, 2025. 2 days until Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve, Eve. Eve of Christmas Eve. Eve of Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, Eve. However you want to say it. If you're already on the road, I hope that you're traveling safely. If you are about to get on the road, hope you travel safely then. If you're with your family, give them big hugs. It's that time of year. It's one of the best times of the year, which unfortunately you think about like winter wonderland. I think it's going to be like 60 degrees here on Christmas this year, which has happened before. It's not unusual, but a little bit. Because I remember, was it a couple years ago when we had like basically a foot of snow on Christmas, and that was an adventure. You talk about White Christmas, that was the street. There was like a foot of Bolivian marching powder out there on the streets. It was wild. It was wild that year. But again, we'll have more of a not tropical, but a little bit of a warmer feel. Go outside, play some ball, maybe. Who knows? Good time. You can get a tan on Christmas. That'll be unusual. Of course, I say that now, Shelby, and it could be a chance that the forecast has changed. And I bet maybe down the hall, Todd's sitting there going, "What are you talking about, Wes? I updated this morning and you haven't seen it. Oh, yeah, is it still supposed to be warm?"
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I'm going to double check that.
And then I think after Christmas, it's back to like 22 degrees is the low.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now it's what, 62 degrees, and I think for Christmas now they're saying 66 degrees, and then yeah, by middle of next week we're getting into like the teens again. So, yeah. You know, that could have happened on Christmas. That would have been nice. It's one of the only times where I'm sort of okay with the weather being super cold. I don't typically like anything below 50 degrees. I don't think it's not anything below 50 or less than 50 is not comfortable for me. Anything below 40 is not right. And anything below 30, that's just not fit for human habitation. That's not like you would think evolution would have moved us to a point where we're like, we go away from these things. We go where it's warmer, right? But some people like the warm stuff or the cold stuff. I don't at all.
Yeah, no, me either.
You're not a sweater weather person?
No, I am always. It can be 90 degrees and I'm freezing. I have a space heater under my desk. Like no matter what the temperature is, I'm always cold. So.
Well, it does make sense. I think you weigh about 37 pounds, which probably does make you cold. It probably adds to it. You know.
Probably.
You know, I mean, it's got to a little bit, right? Those of us who are a little bit bigger, or as my 4-year-old son. I say this is the third episode we've done today. This is the first one live. We got 2 that we've already put in the can for Christmas Eve and Christmas, and then we're going to have one later that we're going to, I guess, for the Black Friday of Christmas, as it is this year, the day after Christmas. But in the episode that you'll hear, I think tomorrow, my son, who's 4 years old, sang the old 1950s Batman song, but he went, no, fat man, and he poked my belly. And then I found out that my wife told him that it was okay to call me that. So we had to have conversations. There was family talk over that one. We had to have hey, okay, it's funny, you can say it, but don't say it to other people. Don't say it to other people. Just me and your grumps. That's it. We got a lot of fun that we're going to have today. Elijah's going to pop in with us at some point. He was supposed to be here at the beginning of the episode, which is how we prefer to do things, but he is recording something. He's down the hall in the other studio recording a package for, I think, later today for sports stuff. So he'll be in here in just a little bit, and we'll get situated there. We'll adjust the cameras. We'll go as we go along. You'll probably see him seated over to the left a little bit, and that's because inside baseball, when it's me, I'm just here in the middle. When it's somebody else, I'm over here to the left, because if not, I'm going to be in my ugly back of my head's going to be in the shot looking at him. So we'll get all that situated to you. We got a lot. There's not a lot of there's some sports to discuss today, because there is we've done some mailbag stuff, and there was some meat left on those bones from some of the questions that we were asked for the next couple episodes. And I want people, if you take the time to ask a question, I'd like to get to it, and I'd like to give a response, because some of them are actually pretty good questions. So, but before we do that, I'll just give you a quick heads up on what's been going on this week at the office. It's Christmas time, it's holiday time, and I can't say exactly for copyright reasons what the decoration is that I have for us in the sports office, it can't be on camera not because it's inappropriate, because there's copyright laws and such, but it is a Christmas figure many of you would know. And basically it was ordered, it was purchased as part of a package of stuff for our studio for the holidays. And so that just kind of came with it, but we couldn't put it on camera. So I asked the bosses, well, did we buy this or rent this? And they said, well, we bought it. And I'm like, so I can have it? And they went, just don't put it on camera, and we don't care what you do with it. And I said, okay, is that permission? I want this. I want you to say it's okay. They said it's okay. So then I promptly stole it, and I took it to the sports office, and our sales staff told me at the holiday party, the Christmas party, that they wanted it and they were going to steal it. And I told them point blank to their face, I said, if you do this, you are going down a dark path because you will be picking a fight with the least mature person in this building. You'll be picking a fight with someone who's got the longest memory for spite in this building. I will torment you if you steal our property. And I think their response was, you stole it first. And I said, but I had permission. You don't have permission.
Yeah.
I have permission to steal it. So it's not, it's just taking, it was gifted. Mm-hmm. And if you take it, we're going to have a problem. And I came in a couple days later and it was taken. Not only was it taken, the lights that I had purchased for the top of it also were taken.
Oh, wow. Double whammy.
So personal property also was taken. And so I put a note, sent an email to the entire company with a picture of Liam Neeson from Taken on it. And that was all it said. It said, memo to the thief. And you got about 24 hours. Came in the next day, it's not there. So I went and took it back, as I promised I would. Mm-hmm. And I brought dumbbells and kettlebells and bike security stuff, bike chains, and put locks on it. So I can't bolt it down to the room because we don't have anything that is we don't have desks that are bolted into the room, and I'm not going to, I'll commit to the bit to the extreme, but I won't damage company property to do it. So I just went downstairs to the gym and got some of the equipment that we have down there at our gym. And I was like, well, I'm never going to actually lift it to work out. Look at me. And so, I mean, when you're already this magnificent, you don't have to do any work. And so, but I went and got those, and then I tied everything together. And so it's not like you couldn't move it, but it would require multiple people who would not be happy about the process. That was the extent I could take it. And just as a heads up, and this is to everyone on our sales team, first off, thank you for your work. Thank you for your work. Many of you have been here a lot longer than I have. You've done a lot of great things for this company. The money you bring in helps us keep this machine running. We love you for it. Doesn't give you permission to steal. And I have, just so you know, I have spent more money than I care to admit publicly on pranks. And which ones I use depend entirely on how you react to this. I have got some diabolical stuff that I have purchased. And if you go down this path, I will use it. I will empty the bag. Now, if not, I'm going to use it on somebody. So probably one of my family or some buddies go over to their house. There's some good stuff in here.
Yeah.
But that's where things stand there. If you take property from the sports office, we will take that personally.
Yeah.
We will.
I can confirm.
That's our comfortable space. Yeah. I've added more lights to it. And now it's not even a holiday. Now it's staying year round. And it will be decorated according to the season. Because I appointed myself Minister of Morale, Shelby. That was one of the first things I did. Now, the director of vibes is Elijah.
Yes. Because
Elijah is, if you could have a camera following him around, you would just see nothing but happy people. Like, he only encounters happy people because he makes people happy with just his personality.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it.
He just does it. and he talks to everyone in this building like he's known them his entire life. People talk about like Southern charm and everything. This is from New Haven, Connecticut.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it.
New Haven, Connecticut charm. Apparently, not just known for pizza. Not just known for pizza. They also do not just having the best pizza outside of New York, probably in the United States. That's what they say. They say it's actually better than New York's, but it's close. It's really good pizza up there. And also apparently some organized crime, if you look at the history of it, but also Elijah.
Yeah.
And so I can't be the minister of vibes because I wouldn't do as good a job as that's him. And, Emily keeps things on the rails. That's her job, basically. We can be idiots because she will make sure that it stops at a certain point and that we're professional and that we do the thing we need to do, which is good for someone. I'm significantly older than she is, but she's basically she's the one who keeps everything in line. And so, but I did say I'm going to provide something to this outfit, and it was morale. I'm going to keep the morale up. So we have our own little room back there. It's just our little space. And if you take something from there, there's going to be consequences. That's where things stand on that, Shelby. I didn't want, I wish I could describe what it is, but I can just say that it's something you would know. And
it's horrifying.
Yes, and very large. And when I plug it in, it makes sounds.
Yes, it scared me multiple times walking into the sports office.
It is something that, I'm going to be honest, I have questions for the people who made it.
Yeah.
Because it is not, you can tell what it is, but it looks like enough not like it where you could be like, this isn't copyright. Look, it's not even the same character.
There's something uncanny about it.
And it is horrifying.
Yes.
And I wanted to set up a nanny cam for people's reactions to it because they walk in and they can't see it because it can't be on camera. So it's behind the door in the sports office. So you walk in there and then you look over and it's just there. And people get terrified of it when they walk in and they don't know that it's there, which is why I did that. And one of the reasons I thought it would be kind of funny, and it has been. But now it's, for privacy reasons, I didn't put up a nanny cam in there, but I really wanted to, just to get reactions to people walking in there and just being horrified.
Yeah.
That would have been, so that's what's been going on in our world this week.
Oh yeah, very, all the festive activities. We got to make it fun.
This is what you do when they take sports away from you for a week.
Yeah.
This is what happens. This is what happens. And they've had games, right? The men played a couple days ago, had a comfortable win over Gardner-Webb. The women last night hit 18 threes and just smoked Southern Indiana to a point where I don't even know why we discuss it. That was burning ants with a magnifying glass. That was just, that's usually what the game before Christmas is. It's a game where you try to get things right. You get in a good workout, get in a good sweat, but you usually win the game comfortably. You stay in shape a little bit before you go away for a week. And then you come back, and your first game coming back from that normally is also a similar game that you should win comfortably, and that gets you ready for conference play, which for Tennessee starts January 2nd, I believe, at Arkansas, which dipped, I think, to about 20th in the polls this week, or 18th, but it's still a good team with John Calipari leading the way. And so there have been some sports things, right? Peyton Lewis goes into the portal. Obviously, the big thing for us was we got Josh Elander in here on Monday for an interview that sit-down exclusive for about half an hour, and that's been on the feed now. You've seen it. And we'll have stuff throughout the week that we're doing with that. And thank you again to Josh for doing that. That was a really interesting discussion because I thought some of the things that stood out to me were, first off, how, and these are things that those of us who have covered them for a while, we know this. And if you're a hardcore Tennessee baseball fan, then you probably know this too. But for the more casual fans and for people who just kind of pop in during it's not football season and all that, which is fine. You do you, boo-boo, it's fine. However you do it. But how he and Tony Vitello are kind of, when they step onto a baseball field, baseball diamond, they think of the game in very, very similar ways. Then there's the personalities, and they could not be more different. Like, they're both baseball guys, But within the baseball guy umbrella, there's always been, as someone who played the game, been around the game my whole life, the amount of personalities that you have within the baseball culture are fascinating, because you get people from just about every walk of life. You get people from every background imaginable, and just it's got weirdos. It has more weirdos usually than other sports do. Like, usually, not always, but usually, like, left-handed pitchers are kind of weird guys. They just kind of, they're right-brained people. And I know this because I throw right-handed, but I'm ambidextrous and would hit from both sides and kick left-footed and left-handed. And so I'm one of those, what would Mike Tyson call them? Amphibious folk. But the left-handed pitchers are usually oddballs. And then they know that, so they become even weirder because it's their thing, right? But within that, you've also got, a lot of the Latin America or the Latinx influence on the game. And you've got people from, very wealthy backgrounds who come from private schools. You've got people who grew up playing on sandlots. You've got, and everybody kind of comes together, and it's a nice thing. But you have people in the same organization, program, clubhouse, that between the lines, they share a brain. The minute you're away from the field, these are not people who would come across each other in life in any other way. And that's on a big, like, if you take a step back, that's one of the reasons why I love sports, because there's very few things in this world. Music can also do this, where people kind of congregate together, and for at least a moment, they're on the same page. They want the same team to win or the same team to lose, or they want to hear the same song from the playlist, or they want to, or the set list. They're people who kind of vibe together who normally wouldn't, and we don't have enough of that in our world anymore. And sports at its best can do that. And so what you get is someone who is like Tony Vitello, who is one of one. His personality, just the way that he handles things, he is very unique. And Josh Elander is much more what you would call, what's the word for it? Normal. No, to the extent that, like, normal exists. I don't know if normal really exists, but because I think normal makes people, you use words like that, people try to conform, and people should be themselves. Let the freak flag fly. That's fine. But basically, you've got, to this point, lifelong bachelor, married to the game, wild guy, whatever, early 40s, going on 12. And then you've got Josh Elander, who's married to his longtime sweetheart, has 3 young daughters, and would be just fine if no one knew who he was. But the interesting thing about that is there's never been at any level a great recruiter. And this goes for sports, it goes for organizations in the professional world, schools, whatever you want to call it. You can't be a great recruiter without personality, without some kind of personality that at least certain people are very attracted to, in terms of, I want to be around this, I want to join your team, I want to be. And Josh Elander, for years, has been one of the best recruiters in college baseball. Everyone knows Tony Vitello is a great recruiter, but he's not done all that on his own at all. Josh Elander's been with him from the beginning. And you go any ballpark in the country, you go to any travel ball tournament anywhere, people there know Elander, and they like him. And he's recruited, the relationships he has. I mean, one of the only things he's done since becoming Tennessee's head baseball coach that was not work-related was he went to Jordan Beck's wedding. And Jordan Beck was, like, insistent, like, you got to be there. And then he was able to kind of take the family on vacation this week, which was nice because things get going for them really in January in terms of baseball. It's a year-round thing, but January comes in, you come back from Christmas break, pitchers start getting loose, guys work out. This isn't pro ball where you're starting a few months from now. Like, games happen in February, so you have to start getting ready throughout the fall and in January. But you see personality with Elander. It's just not in your face the way Vitello's is. And Elander, Josh said a lot of good things about how, listen, even when Tony was here, this was about the players, and he said that, and it's still about the players now. I want the players to go out there and compete. I want them to be themselves. Go compete like maniacs. I'll have your back, and if we have problems, we'll talk about them privately. But he did admit that there's a couple things he wouldn't mind if they're toned down a little bit. But generally speaking, he does not want the DNA or the culture of the program to change, because why would you? Who would want to come in? Who in their right mind would walk into the Tennessee baseball program as presently constructed and say, let's rethink how we do all this, guys. You don't need to blow the thing up and start over. You've been winning. You won the national title 2 years ago. You've been to 5 consecutive super regionals. You've been to 3 of the past 5 College World Series. You've been winning. You're recruiting at a ridiculous level every year. So you don't need to come in and change that. Why you don't go in, hey guys, I think I found a better wheel. No, the wheel, it's there. You're rolling. You're good. But there are some things here and there I'm sure that he'll want to do differently. Tone down a couple things here and there. But, I don't know if you're going to see anything like 2022 on his watch in terms of how wild that thing got. And man, that was fun to cover. But, you do that, you're putting a target on your back. You know that. And even to the point where, people say Elander's a new head coach. He's been a head coach a few times because he's had to be because Tony Vitello got suspended. So he's gone out there and managed games. He's done that. But he talked about how they don't need to change the kind of guys they're recruiting. They don't need to change the way they're doing their workouts. They don't need to change. You always want to evolve and be better. But they don't have to change. Just keep doing what you're doing, which is why people wanted Elander to have the job. And it's why people for several years now have tried to get him to come be the head coach at their program. But he stayed at Tennessee. And he said the moment Tony Vitello left, he was like, I don't want to go to pro ball. I want to be a college coach. I've stayed here for a reason. This is the job I want. And, of course, that sounds good when you say it. People like to hear that stuff. Fans eat that up. I think he means it. That's because it's the same thing he's always said privately. This is the job he wanted. All 3 of his daughters were born at UT Medical Center. He is a Texan, but he's also a Tennessean, and now his family are Tennesseans. They're where he wants to be. And he's a guy who, was a really good baseball player. He was, as a freshman, started for a lot of games at TCU, helped him get to the College World Series, played for the USA national team, college national team, got to the College World Series, hit a bunch of home runs, doubles, was a really good hitter, drafted in the 5th or 6th round, I believe, by the Atlanta Braves, and was the Atlanta Braves minor league player of the year. If he hadn't had injuries, he's a guy who could have been catching in the big leagues. That's the kind of talent that he had. Injuries happen. Sucks. That's life. But he said he had enough of that experience as a professional player that he's now sort of experienced college life and professional life, and he just preferred the college one. He just said that's where I'd rather coach, and that's what he's wanted to do. And so he's been preparing for this for a long time. That does not mean it's going to go well. History is full of, people who were the man who followed the man or the woman who followed the woman. Like, there's Elijah. There he is. So history is full of situations where someone tried to be the coach who followed the coach. Look at Pat Summitt here, Roy Williams at North Carolina. You look certainly at Bear Bryant at Alabama. And to his credit, Kalen DeBoer's not had that be the case after Nick Saban, at least to this point. So history's full of people who tried to be the man who followed the man, or the woman who followed the woman, and it didn't work. So there's no guarantee that this thing with Elander works. But he is as prepared, I think, as anyone who has not been a head coach can be to being a head coach. And you saw in that interview, he's never he's not Tony Vitello, personality-wise. We've discussed this. He's just not. But he's kind of a funny guy. He's got some stuff about him. I mean, he came in here immediately. The interview started with me saying, "Hey, people keep calling you a new head coach, but I think you're undefeated as an acting head coach, aren't you?" And he's like, maybe. He goes, "I don't know." He goes, "But regardless, it's nice to be the head coach for a reason other than Tony getting launched." and so it's like he walks in like, "Oh, hello. Oh, we got some jokes today, Josh."
Which is crazy, man. First and foremost, me being the guy that follows up Elander, like, this is not great. Like, how can I follow up?
Technically, it was Shelby, and then you followed Shelby.
All right, cool. Then I could go. Elander came in there. You saw the jawline. The hair was smooth.
Yeah.
Came in here, gave you the great answers. Following, I think, did he come in with security, or was that just Sean?
Oh no, it was just Sean. He didn't walk in with an army of lawyers and everything. He just he's the guy who. He'll just take his kids to the movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just a guy, He'll be the first to tell you he's just a guy. But yeah, if Sean Barrows is I love Sean Barrows. If he's your security, you're not very secure.
Yeah, he got me.
Physically, you can overwhelm that guy.
He helped me get into the, let me get back to Elander real quick, but he got me into the, football facility the other day. They're doing construction where the press conference.
Oh yeah, when you got yelled at for walking in through practice.
I walked through practice. They didn't like, hey, get off the field. They probably looked at me like, what are you
come
doing?
out and throw hands, man.
Yeah, I don't want no beef with Josh. I don't want no beef with Josh or anybody on the staff. I just wanted to get to the presser, and all the things was saying, go this way to temporary entrance.
Sure.
And you had to walk through. I thought you had to walk through practice. I was like, this is different. I was like, they never let us go in here when the doors is closed.
Hey, you guys know you're playing football out there, right? And I have eyes on it. Oh my gosh.
And
that's like you're walking into the Manhattan Project or
Wes,
something.
I didn't even look where they were practicing. I just kept my eyes forward where it needed to be. I didn't want nobody to stop me. I didn't want to get, somebody come and be like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Yeah. And I'm like, "Look, I'm just following directions."
You actually walked into the bathroom and someone's there. You're like, "I'm not looking. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Lock the door next time."
I'm just following directions. But Sean FaceTimed me and showed me where to go. Saw a whole new part of Tennessee facility because we had to take a different way. But
it's got I think it's got its own mud room basically. That new facility's going to have one because that's what you need. I mean, you need an entire room dedicated to putting on and removing your cleats. I mean, everyone needs that, don't they? And you want it climate controlled, and probably it's like a car wash almost. So I think you walk through there like, oh, you're clean now, you're good. It's all about efficiency. But yeah, I'm sorry, you were talking about. I was having fun. You were talking about Josh going.
Oh yeah. I was having fun with you. But Elander, man, I can't wait to see how it rolls. I mean, it seems that he already has like control of the players, not meaning like in the sense of like, hey, they love him and he loves them, and I think that they understand what the task is. And I never got a chance to see Tony Vitello coach in person. Of course, I saw it on TV and things of that nature. Never got to see it in person and how he was relatable, except for that one practice that I went to with his players. But you can tell when Josh got the job, how excited they were on Twitter and things of that nature. Even when they had the introductory press conference,
the whole team showed up.
The whole team was there. So, I mean, that tells you that you got the right guy in there, and the standard, just because Vitello wasn't there, doesn't change at all.
No, it doesn't. And I think it's people sometimes I think can get a wrong read on that when they say, well, if you're the guy the players really want, are you just their boy? Like, you got to coach him. No, he coaches him. He gets after him now. Like, they go in there. One of the reasons he's been one of the best he's been one of the best recruiters, and he's been one of the best offensive coaches in college baseball for a long time. And if you'll notice, Tennessee's at bats sometimes, it can be hard to strike those guys out. They get down to 2 strikes, and they'll fight you tooth and nail. They'll go after. If a pitch is close, they'll foul it away. They'll spoil it. You can fool them because it's baseball and these guys have ridiculous stuff. But they go in there and battle. And the reason they do that are those ridiculous 2-strike drills with Elander, where basically you go into there and he's right next to you, like really close, and he's throwing wicked hard stuff at you, and your job is you cannot swing and miss. You cannot strike out. And so you're having to fight, and that's where that offensive approach comes from. And that aggressive nature on the bases, which occasionally, and former coworker, still friend of the show, Ben McKee, he and I've talked about this for years.
Yeah.
There's a difference in being aggressive on the bases and reckless, and occasionally they go overboard and become reckless and just run themselves into outs. But that's Elander does that for a purpose. It's to let people know we are always on the offensive. You do not attack us. We attack you. You might beat us, but we're not going to sit here and take it. You're going to have to play offense through defense because we are coming at you.
Right.
We're going 90. We're going hard, and you're going to have to make a play to get us.
Mm-hmm.
And that it just sort of it's just like keeping pressure on people and making them uncomfortable and letting them know that they're going to have to survive if they want to win.
Right.
Like it's sort of a mentality thing. And sometimes it leads to moments where you're out by 30 feet and you're like, what were you doing there?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to do that a lot, obviously, but that's their mindset. Like he talked about how different it was when in that time where, it's just a few days, but it was a really weird time where is Tony going to take the job or not? Is he going to go to San Francisco? What's going to happen? Is who's going to get the job at Tennessee after him? And so people are going after all of Tennessee's players. Like people are tapping up, they're trying to get into the portal through the back door. They are, talking to agents, representatives, other coaches are calling commitments and signees. And like Elander said, Tennessee for a few days had to play defense in recruiting. And he said, we don't like to be on the defensive in anything. He's like, the only defense we like is the defense we play on the field. Like we're not, we are Tennessee. We attack you. We go at you. And that sort of relentless mentality, it's packaged differently with Elander as the salesman and not Vitello as the main guy. Because Elander's like, you don't have to put a camera on me. I don't care. Mm-hmm. It's not about that. But it's there's so much of what Tennessee has done in baseball that has been Elander. But Tony's the main guy. He was the main guy. There's no question about that. Tony Vitello was the coach.
Yeah.
When they have there will be a Tony Vitello statue. Like, let's not
Yeah.
mince words there. What he means to these people and always will. No question about it. But even people think like, okay, the secret sauce for a lot of it was the strength coach, Quentin Eberhardt. And he ended up going with Tony. And he's kind of been Tony's right-hand man in a lot of ways because he's the off-season coach. The reason why Tennessee's able to hit the ball farther than people and have all these guys throwing 100 miles an hour, it's because you recruit hard, and it's because you have Quentin Eberhardt, who's just a beast physically in the weight room with these guys. And also not just that, but like a mental, physical stuff, like mentality monsters. And so people think, oh, well, Quentin Eberhardt, he goes with Tony. Well, he took the opportunity to go back to professional baseball because he didn't love it with the Cubs and then came back to Tennessee. And then he goes with Tony to San Francisco ultimately. But people forget this. The reason Eberhardt was at Tennessee in the first place was because of Josh Elander. Josh Elander, he met Quentin Eberhardt when he was with the Braves organization. And they knew each other through that. And when he and Tony came from Arkansas together to go to Tennessee, and they were like, we need to get the strength coach thing right. And Elander was like, I know a guy. And that was Quentin Eberhardt. And even though Frank Anderson goes with Tony Vitello to San Francisco, the first person who learned that Josh Elander was Tennessee's new baseball coach and was so excited and gave him a big hug was Frank Anderson. Like, Elander is a connective tissue to a lot of this and has been. Now, you can be one of the world's best number twos. That doesn't mean that's no guarantee, right? Mm-hmm. That's not how life works. Mm-hmm. But more often than not, it gives you a chance to do it. Like, it's the same kind of argument that I make with Rick Barnes in the Final Four and all that stuff. It's like, sure, he's been to one, which is one more than Tennessee. but he gets you in the hunt every year. And that, in theory, I still think gives you a pretty good chance eventually to do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And being a really good number 2 is kind of the same thing. Like, it's no guarantee that it's going to make you a great number 1.
Yeah.
But how else do you prepare for it?
That's true. I like but what we said all the time is I know a lot of people are just gonna wait to see how it will operate. I mean, we're one of them to see how it operates.
We'll call balls and strikes. I mean, it is what it is.
But to me, it's like to me the needle doesn't change. The standard is still the same. The players, like when you hire somebody in house that the players really like, and I know I said this prior. I feel like that's really key to ingredients of, one, keeping the guys, because the transfer portal is crazy these days. But 2, I think you're just adding on to what you started instead of just starting fresh, trying to build over again and look for something outside of the facility, outside of the building, when you got it right there. And I think that Elander, like I said, he has the recipe, I should say, to get Tennessee back to Omaha and win it. And I think that, with, the departure of Frank Anderson, happy for him, happy for Tony Vitello, but that doesn't change anything.
Well, no, and they've had Josh Reynolds ready to go for the past couple of years to step into that void whenever, and they thought it would be Frank eventually retiring and going back to Texas because Frank doesn't need the money at this point. He's been a head coach before. He and his sons have done really good things in real estate as a side business. Like, Frank Anderson's fine. He doesn't need the money. There's nothing to they thought he'd retire and go back to Texas eventually. Now it ends up he goes with Tony Vitello to San Francisco, but it's the same thing at the end of the day. They knew he was going to go, and then they were ready for it. And when Quentin Eberhardt goes with Tony to San Francisco, what does he do? He goes and gets the guy who Quentin Eberhardt has known for years, worked with for years, and they have a lot of the same principles. He brings him over from the Milwaukee Brewers, and that's Tennessee's new strength coach. So he's had plans for all of this, and you can tell because there's no preparation ever fully prepares you for anything.
Right.
You can't, that's not how life works, man. Like, that's just not like even, I mean, you can't train people to simulate exactly what something's going to happen. You can just prepare them as best they can, and hopefully their muscle memory and the brain connectivity gets them where they need to go, or they're able to improvise and make it work. But he's had answers for this for years, and this is going back to when he was a player. He was writing stuff down about how if he was a coach one day, this is what he would do. These are plans that work. These are things he liked, didn't like. This has been a really long apprenticeship going back for a long time, and it's like, so when things happened, he had answers for them. When people tried to take his players, he had answers for it and didn't let it happen because of the relationships he's had in recruiting for years. These people were happy that Elander got the job. They wanted him to have the job, and they stayed at Tennessee because he did. He knew there was a chance Frank could leave. There was an answer for it. He knew there was a chance Quentin Eberhardt could leave. He had an answer for it. You can't prepare for everything, but this is a guy who's been prepared for this.
But do you think they were open and honest? Like, since Tony took the job, do you think he was already honest and saying, "Look, I'm thinking about this already, so have a backup," or do you just think like he already knew?
No, they're so close. I mean, he and Quentin Eberhardt are basically brothers. Like, there was no mystery there, and Frank Anderson was the first person who knew Elander got the job. So there was no. I mean, you want those guys to stay, obviously, and that's business, right? Like, if tomorrow some other station tried to, hire one of our people, what would happen is if that person took that job, they'd be like, "Oh, here's some people I used to work with back here, and I want to take them with me." Like that's, and then you're competing against people that you used to compete with, and people that you used to compete with are now on in your foxhole, and so that's professional life, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't change personal stuff. It shouldn't, anyways. And so, but he was, I think, mostly prepared, or he knew these things were possible. And it's not what you want. You don't want those guys to leave. Full stop. You don't want them to leave. But with the answers he had, proof's in the pudding, but looked pretty good to me. And he was able to keep that roster together, and they telling you, he talked about how last season's team, the reasons why maybe it didn't get where it wanted to go, and it's just hard to repeat. It just is. It's hard to win one championship. It's really hard to defend it. And he looked at things that in the program, maybe a little more variety out of the bullpen, maybe a little more variety offensively, some key personnel pieces that you didn't have that you could use, maybe a little bit more solidity in some places, more fluidity in other places. And these things were going to be implemented whether Tony was the coach or whether Elander was the coach, because they both got together, knew what needed to be done.
Yeah.
And so those plans are still in place. Like, you're just, and as a recruiter, every big prospect in this country knows who that guy is. They've seen him at summer events. They've seen him at showcases. They know him. He knows them. He knows their families. So I just think this was the kind of thing that it just had to happen. You had to go this route because you had to say, this guy who was a part of the secret sauce before, obviously it worked. And so why would I blow everything up right now and start over? This isn't – normally if you're walking in as a head coach somewhere, it's either because the last team was so bad that you're inheriting a mess, or it was so good that the coach got a promotion. And this was the second. And so in that situation, you're more likely to say, hey, why don't we see if we can keep this going? And by the way, he wouldn't cost as much as somebody else right now. So I'm protecting myself financially, where if it doesn't work, because that's life, I have more to go do. Whereas opposed to if I'm spending 3 or 4 times this much on bringing in a guy from the beginning with all the staff and everything, all the buyouts and changes and all this that would be required, and then that doesn't work, then I'm hurting. This way, hey, just keep this thing going. That's option number 1, I think. Has to be.
Now, can I ask you a question? Shelby, I want to ask you too.
Me too?
I want to ask both of you guys.
Okay.
Christmas is coming. All right?
Mm-hmm.
One gift that you expect if you celebrate, and one gift that you probably won't get, but you would love to have, what would those be?
I mean, honestly, these days, what I would probably really like is about 8 or 9 hours of sleep.
So is that what you're gonna get? You think you're gonna get that?
As a dad, that's what I. No, I'm not. There's absolutely no chance. There's no chance, dude. Christmas morning, Dad, get up.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no question.
Yeah.
I am gonna get. It's just the same thing. I'm gonna get either yelled at and or kicked in the crotch and wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning probably, and off we go like that. You know, that's Christmas, right? That's but. I mean, I'll think of a real gift, but I almost never ask for anything.
Right.
I think when you become a dad, you just kind of like stop asking for things. You're like, I mean, you know what I want. You know the stuff I wear and like, and whatever. You know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
My wife never needs instructions on these things. She always hits it out of the park. So I don't know. I mean, I'd really like that new Arsenal 3rd shirt.
There it is. Was that on your list? Was that on your list?
Not specifically, no, but it's the kind of thing that maybe she would be smart enough to go ahead and do.
Okay.
She knows that I want that long sleeve, that white one with the red stripes. It's pretty nice.
All right.
It's pretty nice. That would be one thing. What do I expect I'll get? I mean, I'm sure drawings from young people. That's a given. And really unfortunate looking ornaments that were handmade probably and things like that. They're beautiful. Oh, these are great. Oh, these are beautiful. You did this? You did this. Put this belongs in a museum. Look at this. Look at this. And then you're like, I'll put it on the wall.
Yeah, better. It goes
It
in the
might look like a
refrigerator.
demon, but
Yeah, I mean, is this, what is, okay, you're supposed to color in the lines, right? Like, You know the glue goes between things, right? Like you don't expose glue, like that's the
Those
first
your
thought
two?
anyway. That's off the top of my head. I might change my. When Shelby's talking, I'm gonna think. And see
All right,
if
go
I
ahead,
can pull
Shelby,
Oh
something
my
else.
goodness. So, a gift that I expect, and okay, I really only asked for one specific thing because I didn't want to buy it for myself, and it was Billie Eilish perfume.
Hey, hey.
Now does she have just one or does she have variants?
She has several, but one of my friends wears the vanilla kind, and I love it, and it's like almost $100. I'm like, I am not buying that for myself.
That's what everything's $100 now.
No, but yeah, honestly. And then something I know I won't get, money.
Ah.
This is my first big girl job. I ain't getting that no more.
Cash. What do I want? Cash.
Speaking of Shelby, I got a funny story for you guys. Yesterday.
Please share.
And then I'll go into my gift thing. So I felt in the mood. I was in the Christmas festive area. So yesterday for my lunch break, I went to go grab a haircut. And I felt bad because I was like, I got to go back to work, man. Because there's the way he could squeeze me in. So he was going to let me cut this kid. It was a kid. He was probably about 10 years old. I was
that
like,
kid's fine. Whatever, you can do his haircut later.
right. So I was
Priorities
like,
for the adults. Is he on camera every day? Get out of here, kid.
So I said, hey, man, I'll do this. I'll pay for his haircut and my haircut. The guy said, oh, all right, cool. So before I even get my haircut, I went to the thing to go pay. I saw the price. I was like, can I just get him lunch?
Yeah. Hey, you want a sandwich? Like,
can I just get him lunch, or how does this work? Can I take my words back? But I was like, I'll just grab it. $52 for two people. I know I'm not ready for kids.
Oh
I
no!
mean,
Yeah,
wait till you see what my hair appointments cost.
yeah, for
Very
like
scary.
women's haircuts are like,
Lord.
and don't even get me started on what like the salon days cost. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what are they actually putting gold on your body? Is that what they're doing? Is the
wish.
lotion? Does it have gold in it? Like, what are you eating caviar while you're doing this? What like beluga? Like, like are you? I mean, what's happening in there? Like it can't be. It's a racket. It has to be.
It's because it doubles as a therapy session.
I guess I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
That's true, and a good haircut can do that too. So
I never thought about it like that.
yeah, it's. But kids, the prices of like everything, it's.
But I thought it was gonna be like he was still like a $15 haircut. So I was like, yeah, this is cool. And then I seen it, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Can I take this back?
I'd say it. What it makes you appreciate. I appreciate, and here's a rare company shout out that I'll just give: Hot Wheels, because they still, you can get cool stuff that's not like you're like, this is what this should cost.
Mm-hmm.
This is appropriate for what this gift. This is what this thing should cost. You're not just taking everybody over a barrel here. Like, I'm sure you're still doing quite fine as a company, I'm sure, but it's not like there's other stuff where you're like, that you're charging that for this? Hot Wheels, I'm like, y'all get it. Y'all get it. Like, that's shout out to them.
Mm-hmm.
But to answer my own question here, the realistic and the unrealistic, I feel like
Have you been good this year?
I think so.
Okay.
I want to say
Just
I have
asking.
I think so. I don't know.
I mean, if he's not,
you were 30 minutes late today, Elijah.
I said I was gonna be 30. I said I was gonna be 30. I apologize. Did I say 3:30?
that was the adjusted time, yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Wes. Thank you.
That was the adjusted the amended schedule had that on it, yes. So we're
I'm
good.
sorry.
But care.
But no, so I my realistic gift, I think I'm just gonna get like a shirt or something of a kind. I get one every
All that
year.
build up and you're gonna say shirt.
I think I'm gonna get a shirt.
Not
man.
even like a blue shirt.
No.
or
I mean,
like a red shirt.
I think.
or like
but okay, so this is what
flannel
it was.
shirt, a t-shirt.
I got a text message saying, what Rams jersey do you want? And gave me a list of names. So I'm guessing that could be one.
Well, you're in Knoxville now. You wanted to be young, right?
No, I didn't.
Take that, Byron. He's just going to the Pro Bowl, man. Going to the Pro Bowl. Used to be a Dollar General manager.
Hey.
Now he's going to the Pro Bowl.
Hey, you know what? That's a phenomenal story right there in itself.
He's everyone who's around Byron Young likes Byron.
Now, unrealistic Super Bowl tickets. I think my Rams are going to the Super Bowl. I
Really?
want Super Bowl tickets. Now, if they don't, of course, I'll I'll sell them. But if they don't, I'll visit Santa myself this year, and it's gonna take Dancer, Prixon, Rudolph,
Prixon?
whoever else is up there, to hold me back from getting to Santa Claus.
Okay, now this is a fun one for tomorrow. It's either for tomorrow's or for the Christmas episode. When Justin was in here earlier, we did how many reindeer can you name?
I don't
First off, I thought there were 12.
Are they not?
There's like 9.
Yeah, I don't actually know, but I
There's
think
9,
um,
and I knew, because at first I was like, well, I got 7 of them. That's how I got 7 of them, but I was like, I'm still missing 5, and they're like, no, you're missing 2. Oh, okay. So I didn't even know how. I guess I was thinking 12 days of Christmas. So I've got on here, I've got all of their names, and I got the 7 that I got. How many can you get?
Here we go.
Or Shelby, if you want to go, you
want
can.
me to go? I
Go.
think I got it. We got
You know all 9 off the top of your head. You're not looking at one of those screens over there.
nope. Not
I'll be
looking,
real. I only know
not
3, but
looking.
if Shelby go, I'm gonna say every answer.
I mean,
she
you said Flixon or something.
said.
Which
Is Prix? Is it
Prixon.
Prixon?
Yeah,
Is that Prixon?
he's
Oh,
the
no, it's Dixon.
he's the rudest of the reindeers.
Oh
like-
my gosh.
Okay, so you really know all 9.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. We got Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donder and Blixen. That's 8. I think there's 8.
No, you
Oh wait, there's Rudolph.
Yeah, I
if
was
you
gonna
want
say
to
you
count
forgot
Rudolph.
Rudolph.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was
That
about
was
to
the
say,
beginning.
I
of
was
Rudolph.
really hoping that you were gonna have all of them but Rudolph. That was gonna
Yeah.
make my day.
Well, that's the beginning of the Rudolph.
You didn't
song.
guess Rudolph?
No, the ones I did not get were Vixen and Dasher.
I wouldn't have got
Ooh.
Dasher. I wouldn't have got. So it's no Prixon? Am I
No.
right?
Dasher and Dancer.
No, he was the one.
Prancer,
He was the one.
Vixen.
He got kicked out of the band. And that's why they brought in Rudolph
Comet,
because
Cupid,
Prixon
Donder.
was living up to his name, and so they were like, "You got to get out of here. You don't have a red nose, and you're just rude to everybody." and then they brought in, and then they were like, "Okay, Rudolph.
Yeah.
You know this.
Rudolph.
You know this schnoz we've been making fun of your whole life,
Mhm.
buddy. That's going to come in handy right about now."
I don't even know all of these guys.
You also, before we get out of here, cards on the table here. Elijah did not know Bah Humbug.
No, I still don't know what that is.
You don't know what? Have you ever seen Christmas Carol?
No.
Dude,
Sorry, y'all.
But he
His
no
New England showing.
the way that he admitted this, it was first off 2 points for honesty.
Yeah.
But I was making fun of somebody else in the Knoxville Media Corps who I will not name. I will not throw her under the bus. I'll tell you, it was her, not him. It was her, and she did not know. She's like, "What's Bah Humbug?" And I was going off like, "You don't know what that means? Seriously, what? Where did you come from? How have you never heard this?"
Yeah.
And then Elijah, for no reason, goes, "I ain't know it either."
Yeah. I didn't.
It's like he didn't have to say anything.
oh
I
gosh.
still
He didn't have to
don't
say it.
I still don't know.
That's
know.
where we are. But the good thing is we left a few mailbag questions on for what's going to be the episode on the 26th for Christmas Black Friday. So we got some mailbag questions left over that we'll get to
Is that a
there.
real thing?
Do I know?
Is it a real thing? Christmas, Black Friday? That's a real thing?
No, it's just because Christmas is a Thursday this year. So I'm calling it Christmas Black
Oh,
Friday.
I didn't know that was a real
It's
thing.
CBF, Christmas Black Friday. That's what it is. Bring all your stuff back. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the exact opposite of Black Friday. You're taking all the stuff back that your grandma got you that you don't want. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a seriously very Merry Christmas. Have happy holidays. Be safe in your travels and all that. And I will see you again in about 23 hours.